for another Ratchet reality television show review. If you enjoy these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Also, if you are new here, be sure to subscribe and let's start the show. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 5, Episode 10, I think, Final Goodbye. Pretty much the title of this show centers around Scrap going off to jail. We know that Scrap has to go before the judge and he has to be sentenced and he has to go ahead and serve his time. He's literally going to be taken from the court straight to jail to serve his time. And if you guys do not know, I did a video a while back saying that Scrap actually received 20 years in prison, but he only has to serve 5 of those years. So that does turn out to be true. You guys know that this was some tea that I spilled a while ago, and I didn't know if it was 100% accurate because I did see screenshots of him with his haircut, but I didn't know if those were like recent photos, but they were recent photographs of him after he had cut his hair on this show actually to go ahead and serve his time. Okay, so this episode starts off with Arian meeting up with D. Smith. She pretty much wants to meet up with D. Smith to discuss her singing career. Now, I'm not trying to be funny, but to me it seems like everybody wants to be a singer, a rapper, an actor, or something. It's not meant for everybody to do those things, okay? Everybody's meant to do something different. So just because you're in Atlanta or just because you in LA does not mean that you're meant to act or you're meant to sing. And I'm not trying to be funny because I don't know. Arian probably has a very, very beautiful singing voice, but it seems to me that everybody want to be a rapper and everybody want to be a damn singer. But anyway, she meets up with D. Smith because D. Smith does have some apparently big name people that she has worked with. Honestly, I've never heard of D. Smith, but some of you guys probably has. But apparently D. Smith has worked with some big name people, and Arian wants to meet up with her and possibly get D. Smith to work with her on a single or something like that to basically get her name out there. Now, in the midst of D. Smith being the girl, tell me why, girl. Tell me why. To me, it seems like D. Smith and Betty Boop are fucking attached at the hip. It seems to me that D. Smith can't go no fucking where, but this Betty Boop bitch being attached to her damn hip. But I guess that's Betty Boop's storyline as being D. Smith's fucking sidekick. I guess Mona Scott won't give her own little storyline. She low-key had her own storyline for literally all of one episode when she was fucking around with Scrappy. But of course, I guess Bambi shut that shit down real quick. Bambi probably told Mona Scott, look, this my dude. If you keep this bitch fucking with my dude, I'm gonna leave him alone. And Scrap probably threatened to leave. I don't know, girl. But anyway, I guess that's Betty Boop's goddamn storyline is hanging out with D. Smith. But Arian's there. She's getting all emotional, basically saying how she put her happiness on hold for other people, and now she just wants to do what she wants to do and be happy for herself. So D. Smith pretty much agrees to work with her. Now, in the meantime, between time, you know, Arian decides to ask her why she decided to ask D. Smith about K. Michelle when she already knew the type of shit that the shade that they were throwing at each other in the last episode. Why she did that shit, I don't know. So Arian, you starting to seem like a little fake motherfucker. You need to come and pump your brakes, boo. Because like I said, y'all know that K. Michelle does not mind getting a bitch together, okay? And D. Smith does what D. Smith does and throws shade at K. Michelle, basically saying that she questions anybody's sanity who decides to work with that crooked letter body bitch or some shit like that. D. Smith, you need to choose your words very wisely because you seem to get offended when people say things about you, but it seems like you yourself can say all these nasty and hateful things about people, but if somebody says it to you, you like to cry the fucking victim. You need to sit that ass down. Like I said, pump your goddamn brakes because trust me, somebody ain't gonna give a fuck about you being a transgender woman, okay? They gonna beat your motherfucking ass straight up and down, and that's gonna be it, and that's gonna be all. Because like I said, you hanging out with this Betty Boop bitch, it seems like y'all trying a little bit too hard, okay, to be relevant on this goddamn show, and you doing a little bit too much at this particular point in time. I know K. Michelle was throwing shade at Betty Boop, but I didn't see K. Michelle throw too much shade at you. Hell, K. Michelle wanted to work with your goddamn ass, girl, and you just trying to act like you just all high and fucking mighty, and you just the motherfucking shit. But like I said, I'm gonna need you to pump your brakes, D. Smith, because you gonna meet your goddamn match, boo. So Bambi's meeting up with Tammy and Deb, and of course, you know, she's sitting down with her girlfriend and sitting down with her, you know, girlfriend's mother-in-law. Then she decides to spill the beans about the shit that popped off between her, D. Smith, and Betty Boop. Now, Bambi basically tells them that, you know, she never knew that she even had any type of beef with D. Smith. Y'all know that Bambi was also in this whole runway situation with D. Smith, so they were apparently cool. But when Arian brought her over to this VIP section and Betty Boop and D. Smith were sitting there, Bambi did make the statement that she felt uncomfortable sitting there, and she was saying that in reference to Betty Boop, because of course Betty Boop and Tammy got into an altercation, so she felt some type of way sitting there knowing that this girl had an altercation with her friend. Not only that, this bitch was trying to fuck around with my dude, so she really didn't want to sit over there. But D. Smith took offense to it and of course started calling her transgender and how they need to stick together, and started calling this girl a horse and all this other type of shit. And Deb, of course, is the voice of reason at this point. She tells her sometimes you got to learn to turn the other cheek, and yes, sometimes you do have to learn to turn the other cheek. But if somebody is constantly attacking you, somebody saying some shit, you walking the fuck off, girl, you gonna goddamn say something, okay? You are going to open your mouth. Deb is having this anti-bullying panel. She pretty much wants D. Smith to be a part of this panel because she feels like D. Smith will have a lot to offer. And of course, Bambi and Tammy are sitting there like, why would you do that? And of course, because D. Smith is a transgender woman, you know, a lot of people have a lot of nasty negative things to say about trans people, as well as, you know, people in the LGBT community and just random people, you know, in general. You have a lot of people online, and that's pretty much what this centers around. Her son committed suicide because he was being bullied online. You have a lot of people who will have a lot of nasty, hateful, and negative things to say about you behind a computer screen because they know that they can, you know, get behind a computer screen and have a fake picture or no picture at all, and they can say nasty, hateful things towards you. And Deb feels like D. Smith will have a lot to offer in regards to that, as well as Tammy, and she also has Mama D on this panel, but I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. At first, Bambi and Tammy's like, girl, you know, you don't really need to have her on your panel because number one, D. Smith is a fucking bully. But Deb is like, I think she'll be good, whatever. We gonna try to get D. Smith on this goddamn panel. Scrap is taking pictures with his son because y'all know Scrap is literally 2 days away from going before the judge and going to be sentenced and going to have to go straight from the courthouse to the jailhouse, okay? So he's sitting there taking pictures with his son. He also has his mother KK there. Now this was one of the only episodes of Love and Hip Hop that I can remember in history that I actually got emotional over, and that's because seeing Scrap tell his son that he's going to have to go away because he's done some bad things and he's going to have to go away for a little while, and seeing that child cry. Now, I know that was not scripted because, number one, this is a 3-year-old child, and seeing him or hearing him tell his father that he doesn't want him to go away, he wants him to stay with him, and seeing him cry, that's why I hate to see people do, you know, sell drugs, do illegal shit, because at the end of the day, when you have to go to jail, when you have to go to prison, the only person that you're really hurting is going to be your children. And seeing this child cry because this little boy really clearly loves his son, that really hurt my heart, for real, because I mean, you have people out here doing this shit every day that are going to prison, leaving behind their children that really honestly and truly love them deep down within their soul, and seeing and knowing that they have to go away. Now, thank God he's only having to go away for 5 years, and thank God this little boy is only 3 years old right now. So when he gets out, the little boy will be 8. So he's gonna still be relatively young. So it can kind of be a, you know, just a memory, a blur that he was gone for so many years. Okay, especially if KK has agreed to bring the little boy to jail to see him. Apparently, KK and Tierra are cool now. KK decided to brush all this shit off her shoulders and get along with Tierra for the sake of, number one, for the sake of their son, and for the sake of, you know, just being a fucking adults and knowing this man finna go to jail, and the little boy gonna want to see his damn daddy, okay? And she's probably gonna need help with the little boy now that his daddy's not around anymore, and you know, the grandmama deciding that she wants to step up. His brother is telling him that he's gonna step up. So I thought that was also really nice of KK. KK also said that she heard that now Scrap is dating Miss Carly Red, and how she knows she can vouch for the older chicks because she's an older chick. And he said, well, mama, you said the same thing about Tommy. Now, apparently, KK right now is feeling some type of way about Tommy. I don't know if this all stemmed from Tommy busting up in Scrap's house acting a damn donkey about that receipt that she found in his car that with the Carly Red name on it. I don't know, but KK says she's seeing the error of Tommy's ways, and she's seeing that Tommy is a crazy motherfucker, so she really not feeling Tommy no more. And I guess she hit for Carly Red, but girl, Carly Red already in somebody else's face. I already knew once they put them damn handcuffs on Scrap, Carly Red was gonna get gone, okay? So yeah, Carly Red up in Tiger Tick or whatever the fuck his name is face right now. I don't know, is she still fucking around with Life Jenny's girl? I don't know, she probably got another nigga now that we don't even know about. So yeah, that's what's going on in this particular scene right here. Scrap's telling his son he got to go away, and they taking pictures and all that good old shit. D. Smith meets up with Deb, and Deb basically, you know, asks her straight up and down, you know, tell her she having this anti-bullying campaign and she wants her to participate in it. And of course, D. Smith sitting over there and she feeling some type of way, and Deb tells her about how her son committed suicide because he was being bullied on the internet. People were saying that they were a part of the Illuminati, and I guess it took a toll on her son, and he killed himself. Now, in the midst of all this, Deb tells her she wants her to participate in this panel, but she don't want no drama, to be associated with it, because she knows that Tammy and Bambi got into Tammy and Bambi got into it with, D. Smith and Betty Boop, so she doesn't want any drama to be associated with this panel. This is supposed to be an anti-bullying panel, and she wants D. Smith to participate. Now, D. Smith decides to then talk about Waka Flocka again, talk about how Waka Flocka needs to get an interview coach to teach him how to do interviews and be very cautious with his words. You need to do the same thing, D. Smith. That's all I'm goddamn saying. But anyway, pretty much in a nutshell, it just goes on, and she get to calling Tammy a Tasmanian devil, and of course that's Dev's a daughter-in-law, and she loves Tammy. We can clearly tell that Deb and Tammy have a very, very good relationship, or had a very good relationship. If you guys didn't know, I'll give you this little bit of tea right here right quick. Tammy and Waka Flocka are reportedly separated. They're getting a divorce because apparently Waka Flocka been cheating on Tammy for a while, and she low-key hinted on at that in the or during the panel, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But all that shit happened, and basically Deb pretty much told her to kick rocks because she see that D. Smith ain't going to be able to goddamn participate in this without it being some drama associated with it. D. Smith tells Deb that she's disappointed in her, and she, of course, goes to the confessional and says that, she going to respect the elders, but she really want to lay into Deb right now. But girl, you really didn't want to do that, girl. You really did not want to do that, lay into Miss Deb, but thank God you said that shit in the goddamn confessional. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened, and she gets up and she storms out of the goddamn meeting spot, and I guess deciding that she ain't gonna do the goddamn panel because she just can't get over the fact that her and Waka Flocka said some old fucked up ass shit or whatever he said, and she just can't get over that, and she definitely does not want to participate in this panel. Now, let's talk about Miss Mimi. Mimi is all crunk and shit, of course, because Jocelyn came to her in the last episode and told her that Stevie J apparently has 2 babies out there in the world that don't nobody goddamn know about from this, whatever the fuck this chick name is that I told y'all about in the last video. Apparently, this chick is all in the blogs telling people that she has a baby by Stevie J. Not only is she telling people that she has a baby by Stevie J, she apparently has the documents with his name being on the birth certificate, etc., etc. And apparently he is paying child support for this child. Now, when he comes over to Mimi's house, of course, Mimi want to sit him down and ask him these questions. Now, he's sitting there with this goddamn weird ass, that rat smirk on his face, that smirk on his damn face. Mimi asked him basically if he has 2 other kids because Jocelyn was very emotional when she was talking about it. He pretty much in a nutshell tells her Jocelyn is crazy as fuck, okay? She is a psycho. She's psychedelic. He also shows her a video of when Jocelyn fucking bleached his clothes and all that type of shit. I don't know if y'all remember that back a couple of months ago, the blogs put out that Jocelyn had bleached all of Stevie J's clothes, girl. All his shoes. She cut up his shit, really expensive stuff, watches, all types of stuff. She fucking damaged all that shit. Pretty much in a nutshell, he tells her, look, Jocelyn is a crazy motherfucker. The shit is not true. I only have 5 children, okay? 5 children, no more, no less. That's all I have. Jocelyn is a goddamn fool. Now, if Stevie J really, honestly and truly does have more children, he knows that he has more children, and he's lying saying that he doesn't have more children, that's low-key fucked up, okay? That's fucked up that you're not claiming your other children, even though I know people do that shit all the time. They'll sit there and pay child support for a child and just won't never go to see the children. Don't want nobody to know that the children even exist. But if you know you have more children and you not claiming no children, that is fucked up, Stevie J. But he's telling her he don't have no more children, and she agrees to let him stay in her house. My thing is this, and of course she tells him, if I find out, Mimi, why do you really give a fuck like that? Why do you really give a fuck? You know you're not fucking around with Stevie J like that. You're not in a relationship with Stevie J. You have no attachment to Stevie J with the exception of your daughter. You're not fucking him, okay? It should not matter whether or not he has 2 other kids. You know Stevie J is a fucking hoe. I don't know why it would come to you as a shocker, even if he does have 2 other children. But anyway, she agrees to let him stay over her house, so he take his stank ass shoes off and cock his feet up on her damn couch. Now you stuck. Over at KK's crib, she's having a get-together for Scrap because literally he has 2 days before he got to go turn himself in. So she's having a get-together for him. I do see Kirk there. I also see Rashida there. Stevie J is, of course, there. His brother's there. And I guess some other family members, some other people I didn't really recognize. And they're basically there having this get-together, before he got to go turn himself in. And during this get-together, he's back there feeling some type of way because, girl, whenever time gets closer and closer for you to go and, hell, I guess go to court or go do some shit that you don't know what the outcome is going to be, you start feeling some type of way. And his mother is basically reassuring him that everything's going to be okay. She's going to be bringing his child to see him. You know, he needs to just mentally release himself from his family because, you know, oftentimes people say, I've never been to jail. I don't know anybody really, really close to me that's ever been to jail. But I do know that they sometimes say you have to mentally release yourself from your family, because if you don't, when you go to jail and you're doing that time, it's going to kill you, because all you're going to be thinking about is your family, and it's going to fuck you up to the point where you're going to be you're going to damn near stroke yourself out, you know. So she's pretty much telling him, just go do your time. I'm going to bring your child to see you, ease your mind, and come home, and it's gonna be like you ain't never left. So that's pretty much what she's doing. And like I said, they out there having a whole kumbaya situation, drinking and doing. Y'all know how black folk do when somebody getting ready to go to jail, child. They have a party or whatever to basically see the person off. So that's basically what this is all about. Arian is introducing Mimi to D. Smith. Y'all know that Mimi and Arian, they're BFFs. And now that Arian is going to be working with D. Smith, Arian wants to introduce Mimi to D. Smith. So D. Smith's there, and they're sitting there having a conversation. Mimi's telling her it's an honor to meet her. The next thing you know, Betty fucking Boop comes through the goddamn door. Again, they're attached at the hip. I don't know. It's like they're Siamese twins or some shit. I don't goddamn know. Everywhere this woman is, this goddamn Betty Boop bitch pops up. I don't know. It's annoying as hell, girl. It's annoying as hell. But anyway, they're sitting there having this conversation, and of course Mimi's like, you know, I was here to meet D. Smith. I wasn't expecting to meet this Betty Boop bitch. And of course the conversation comes up, and Mimi asks her about Tammy, and you know, Arian basically asks, you know, Betty Boop if she ever will be willing to meet up with Tammy and sit down and have a conversation. And Betty Boop, of course, says, I really don't know. My hair got pulled out. I really don't know. My hair got pulled out. I was just like, really, girl? Like I said, I don't want to give her too much, but she was like, I don't know, my hair got pulled out. And girl, I was just like, what the fuck? So they're sitting there having a conversation, and girl, did y'all peep that motherfucking shit when D. Smith voice got real fucking deep? Well, what did my son do to you? Of course, she was talking about Deb. She was talking about Deb. She was low-key throwing shade at Deb, talking about how Deb voice sounds. I don't know. But D. Smith, girl, scared the fuck out of everybody. I'm pretty sure that was unscripted. I'm pretty sure Mona wasn't expecting that shit, but she knew it was going to be something that was going to be like, what the fuck? Made people be like, what the fuck? So D. Smith, you know, again, they're having a conversation because she does tell Arian and Mimi how she had a meet and greet with Deb, and Deb basically propositioned her to, you know, be a part of this anti-bullying panel. And that's when she bust out with the fucking deep voice, what did my son do to you? You know, in the midst of her telling them about the conversation that she had with Deb. And of course, that shit made Arian spit out her motherfucking drink. And bitch, that shit caught me off guard too, because I was not expecting that. But anyway, Arian basically, you know, they try to talk her into go ahead and doing the, you know, the panel. And she basically says that she'll think about it, but she knows she's going to have to go in and basically start to pick a motherfucking fight. I don't understand. I guess she feels like she has to be on the defense at all times. Again, I really feel some type of way about people judging. Like, say for instance, I say something and you decide that you want to judge the juice man based off what I say. I am an individual, okay? I am an individual. My thoughts and my opinions may not be the juice man's thoughts and opinions. He can have his own way of thinking. We have differences of opinions on a lot of different subjects. Trust me. So you judging him based off something that I said, I think it's completely wrong. So the fact that D. Smith was basically going in on Tammy because of something that her husband said, I felt like that was fucked up. And Tammy was even trying to get her to see that, you know, me and him don't necessarily have the same opinions. He can feel how he wants to feel. Now, I'm also going to talk about something that D. Smith said when she decided to go ahead and pop up at this panel that I felt was fucked up. Scrap is back at his crib. It is literally the night before he has to show up to court to basically turn himself in. So he's there with his brother, he's there with his son, and he's there with his nephew. So they're there. Scrap is a Muslim, so they're praying the night before. And a lot of people feel some type of way about people, deciding that they want to turn to their faith before they go into jail. I mean, different strokes for different folks. I know some people say, well, you should have been thinking about that before you start doing your dirt. But sometimes it takes you know, people going to jail for them to turn their lives around. I don't know, but they're there praying the night before they go to, you know, it's time for him to go to jail, and he's having a pep talk with his brother Sass, telling him, you know, basically stay out of trouble. Don't let these niggas drag you into the streets. You know, you got two dudes up there in the pen right now depending on you, me and whoever this other person is, okay? So we gonna need you to make sure you be putting money on our damn books, okay? You gonna need you to make, we need ramen noodles and cookies and all this type of shit. Make us a couple of prison burritos. And his brother basically said, you know, I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna make sure your son is okay. Me and Tierra got a pretty good relationship. I'm gonna, you know, pick him up from school. I'm basically going to step up and do what you can't do now that you're going to jail. Now we're at this panel. You got Mama D, you got Deb, you got Tammy, and you got a couple of other people that I didn't recognize. And they're having, it was a very, very good panel. The little bit that I did see, it was very, very good. Y'all know, if you don't know, if you're new to my channel, I am a person who has, you know, I suffer from depression. I was bullied pretty bad when I was in elementary school and middle school. So I definitely felt like I could have had something to add to this panel. So there were a lot of people there. There was a lot of people in the LGBT community, trans people, you had gay people, you had just regular people who have been bullied, who were on this panel, and also people who were in the audience. So they sit there and they have their situation, and all of a sudden you have D. Smith and of course her side chick, Betty Boop, coming to the building. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe Betty Boop is some type of, I don't fucking know. I'm not even gonna sit there and try to, you know, understand why every time we see D. Smith, we see Betty Boop. I don't give a fuck. But Betty Boop pops up as they're having their discussion. So after everyone on the panel says what they have to say, Deb opens the floor for people in the audience to come up to the podium and, you know, have a little bit of a discussion. So D. Smith comes up to the podium. Of course, automatically her and Tammy going head to head. Tammy's basically saying that she felt like she was attacked by D. Smith based off of some things that her husband Waka Flocka said. Now, what D. Smith said that I don't agree with is the fact that she was telling Tammy that she felt like Waka Flocka should have said, well, I love trans people. I think trans people are cool. And like Tammy said, if that's not how he feels, that's not how he feels. Just because I am a supporter of the LGBT community, I do have to respect people who may not agree with it. I may not agree with what they agree with in the fact that they don't want to accept people for who they are. I can't just sit there and expect them to, so you want me to lie to you? You want me to say I accept who you are if I don't? Like I said, I am a supporter of the LGBT community, but if Waka Flocka or whoever else is not, I can't sit there and tell them, well, you should pretend like you are. You shouldn't want anybody to be fake like that. So that's what D. Smith told Tammy, is that Waka Flocka should have said that he's cool with it, he's okay with it. And Tammy said, well, he doesn't feel that way. That's not how he feels. So you want him to get on camera and get on TV and lie about how he feels? And of course, then that's when you got, you know, D. Smith hitting on the motherfucking podium, just boom, boom, boom. I don't know if D. Smith said something about Tammy and Waka Flocka not being connected, as, you know, I guess saying that maybe Tammy and Waka's opinion differ and they're one, or some shit like that she was saying. But anyway, that's when Tammy went on her whole tirade about we are one. If we weren't one, I wouldn't be putting up with half of the shit that I done been through with this dude. That's when, I don't know if y'all peeped this, that's when Deb low-key tapped her like, motherfucker, you need to calm your ass down. Calm your motherfucking ass down. And if y'all don't know, I think I mentioned this before, but if I haven't, Waka Flocka and Tammy are no longer together. They're getting a divorce. It has been rumored that Waka Flocka has cheated on Tammy several times. Apparently, Tammy had to go head to head with some of his side chicks on Instagram several times, and maybe, I don't know, maybe in the last couple of months or something, she caught him with another woman. I'm not 1,000% sure, but she decided to know her worth and get the fuck up out of that marriage. And I don't blame you. Sometimes you have people that will stay with someone just to save face, you know, just for, you know, to please folk, or for, you know, just for it to look nice. But I'm not going to continuously stay with someone who keeps hurting me just to just for it to look good on TV. I refuse to do that. So they have, this back and forth confrontation, and then there's another person in the audience. I don't know if she came in with Betty Idol and D Smith or what, but she apparently they were having some type of confrontation, and the girl in the audience was saying, "Y'all not about to gang up on D Smith," and that's when they got together and they just stormed up out of there. And I don't know if y'all peeped that, but security ended up jumping up in front of D Smith in front of the podium. I guess just in case they were gonna have a confrontation. I don't know. But D Smith, the other girl in the audience, and Betty Idol, they all left up out of the event together, and it was just a big old mess. The anti-bullying campaign where you got folks in there arguing and having them fussing and fighting, girl. No, girl. So as Carly Red said, because Carly Red was there, also Bambi was there. As Carly Red said, that shit went from 0 to 100 real quick. They were having a good conversation. Then when D Smith got up to the podium, shit just went left real fast, and it just spiraled out of control, which it really shouldn't have. I said this before in one of my previous reviews. I do not think that people should be judging other people based off the opinions of their family members. Just because I act a certain way or just because I say a certain thing, you shouldn't judge Juice Man or anybody else off of how I am. I mean, this is me. This is what I do. They may have completely different opinions, completely different ways of doing things. So if you have an opinion on anyone, it should be on Waka Flocka, not on his wife, because he the one who said the shit, not her. Now it's 5 o'clock in the morning. We're at Scrap's crib. His alarm that went off. It's time for him to go pay the piper. Okay, it's time for him to go and pay the piper. So he wakes up. He goes in the bathroom. He has his hair in some, the little braids. His brother comes in there, hands him the scissors, because you already know when you go before the cook. I don't know if you just can't go in there with hair. I don't know. But he decides to cut off his hair and, shave his head, give himself a fade or whatever, to prepare himself for getting dressed to go and see the judge. KK shows up. He wakes his son and his nephew up. He tells them goodbye. He puts on his suit and he gets in his SUV, and they head on over to court. Now, while they're at court, all of his family members are there. People who aren't associated with Love and Hip Hop, because they did have a lot of their faces blurred. And one of the family members, they're hugging, and, one of the family members said a prayer. And this was all before he was walking into the courthouse, because he already knew when he went in there, the judge was going to sentence him. And his lawyer already told him that once you're sentenced, you're going to be led out of the courthouse into the jailhouse. So they're all out there crying, saying their goodbyes. And it was another sad part when he was hugging his brother Sass, and they were crying, and he didn't want to let Sass go. I mean, like I said, all of this was not for the cameras. This was some real shit. This dude is going into prison. He's going to have to do some time. I mean, some 5 years. I know that's a lot less than 20 years, but that's still a lot of time. 5 years and behind bars. I mean, having to have people tell you what to do. But like I said, you do the crime, you got to do the time. So he goes into the courthouse, and it's to be continued on the next episode. Now, on the next episode, I'm pretty sure we're going to see him be sentenced and probably see him be led off to jail. Of course, I'm pretty sure, hopefully, I don't know if Mona Sky Camera, the police going to let Mona Sky Cameras follow him to the jailhouse or not. But that's all of that's going to happen. It's a lot of other stuff that happened in this episode. We're going to see the chick that claims she has this baby by Stevie J, and some more shit. And also there was a video that Stevie J recently put up, basically telling us that, he ain't never been married to Jocelyn. He ain't never gonna be married to Jocelyn, because of course she went on some radio station calling him all kind of punk, saying how his music is trash. And he said, baby girl, look, you need to calm down. We know Stevie J done produced some pretty hot shit. I don't know who the people are, but the Juice Man knows some of the records or whatever that he done produced. And he says he's collecting royalties off of that. He's making more money in royalties than she'll ever make in her whatever type of career that she has. So he's telling her to pump her brakes. Him and her, they're no longer fucking with each other. They probably be on and off, on again, off again. We probably see their ass again together pretty soon. But she's apparently fucking around with Young Joe, and he's apparently messing around with Delicious right now. So, yeah, but we know, like I said, we know that Jocelyn and Stevie J are on again, off again. So I would not be surprised that we see them on social media with pictures together very, very soon, because they just, I mean, girl, I don't know. They just one of them types of couples who break up to fucking make up, but it is what it is. I want y'all to let me know what y'all thought about this episode down in the comment section. Again, if you enjoyed these videos, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.